Hey there, hope you're doing well. Happy New Year 2025. Wish you and your family a very happy, healthy, and wealthy 2025. Hope you're able to achieve not just what you're setting out to, but a whole lot more than that. So, in this video, we're going to talk about APIs and reusability. As you may know, one of the many products we actually provide at Snowpal is a suite of APIs. B2B APIs says if you're building mobile apps, web apps, or microservices, and you want to kind of go to market soon, and do not want to reinvent the wheel or spend a lot of time and energy and money that you don't actually have to, thereby giving you that luxury to focus on your core customer problems. And you should certainly leverage or integrate our APIs. So let me do a screen share. So we're going to sort of take an example that's not related to our APIs, at least not yet, and then speak a bit to reusability and why that would make sense for any organization that intends to be successful and very nimble. So without further ado, let me just do a screen share here. I'm going to share my entire desktop. So if you go to aws.snowpal.com, it's going to redirect to the AWS marketplace and show you a list of our APIs. I'm not going to go to too much detail here, but enough said that we have a number of APIs that we support. You can purchase our APIs. There's many different models we support. You can pay per use. You can have a monthly subscription or just license out API and purchase, support licenses from us. So whatever works for you, right? You can deploy our APIs in your own infrastructure or leverage your APIs just off of AWS Marketplace, or start here and eventually be there as well. It just literally depends on your needs. And getting started with leveraging APIs by getting the API key going through the AWS Marketplace is going to take your dev team less than like literally less than 5 minutes, if that. And then if you want to go check out the developer documentation, you can go to developers.snowpal.com. Documentation is pretty much laid out here, all the APIs, the API references, and we're continuing to enhance our recipes so we can provide more examples and whatnot. So that's just a quick introduction if you're not really familiar with our API suite. Now, what does it have to do with what I was trying to share in this video and the charts that you're seeing in the background, right? Here's what it is. The reason, let me go to, okay, this one here. The reason one of the reasons we publish APIs is when we built our web apps and mobile apps, which is a project management platform. It took us a little bit longer than we would have liked for it to take. It has tons of features, right? A number of features. It's a pretty full blown product, a platform. But even then, we are a very, very fast moving team. And if we had APIs available to us for some of these fundamentals that we needed, when you're building a solution or a product, there are things that you build to differentiate yourself from others, but there are a number of other things you have to kind of build to lay the groundwork and the foundation, which may or may not be your selling point. That's not your unique selling proposition. Signing up, sign in, social media logins, the basic notion of dashboards and then collating information and whatnot, right? So it took us time because we didn't have those APIs. Nobody provided them. We wish someone did, like we do today. So what we then, when we talk to more founders, we realize that it's not just we're not unique in the sense that everybody else would love to have these APIs so they can kind of be on their feet a whole lot sooner, and they may or may not even need a backend team for that matter. Right now, you could have a team, you can supplement the APIs to your existing offerings, or you may just be sort of getting started. You're a solopreneur, or you have some money, or a bunch of people, like a few people in a startup, or you don't have any money, it's bootstrap funded, doesn't matter, right? Or you could be a mid-sized organization. If your intent is to actually solve your core customer problems in quick time and only focus all of your energies on those things and not waste time reinventing the wheel, then our API should come and quite help you quite nicely there. So if we had our APIs, we could have built all of these, not all, a number of these foundational elements a whole lot sooner than we were able to. So what we decided was, we didn't have it, but that doesn't mean nobody else should have it. So we decided to re-provision our private APIs and we made them public, and that's essentially what I showed you on AWS Marketplace. Right now, let me get out of this platform. And now you've gotten that sense of, hopefully I've been able to articulate that sense of the importance of reusability. Let me take a completely different example. So these are, if you're investing or trading, you can certainly check out one of our recent courses, which is one of the many things we do, our education platform, by going to getsnowpal.com. You can check out a list of courses that we offer. This list continues to grow. We did We published a few recent. We published a few courses recently on trading, investments, and whatnot. You can check that out. As you can see, it doesn't break your bank. Super affordable, very pragmatic. It's not theory. It's practicals. We show you actual tools and platforms we use, and then the hope is that it benefits you directly, and it doesn't cost you much at all, like less than a drink at Starbucks or just about there. So that's why you're seeing stocks in the background. But I want to take this example. So we use a few different tools for our trading purposes. One of them is bar chart premier, and then this one is interactive brokers. This is like E-Trade or Fidelity. You can sign up for a brokerage account and whatnot. So the idea here is I'm not advocating any of these. I mean, they're good products. We like them, but I'm just taking them as examples to make one particular point. So let me make sure we are recording. Yes, we are. I signed up for an account with Interactive Brokers very recently, right? But I've been using Barchart Premier for a little bit. And when I logged in, and this is a desktop client, the not every brokerage, at least from what I can tell, provides a desktop client for you to do the trading. Some do. Interactive Brokers is certainly one of them. And when I looked at it, when I went to the chart here, let's pick the same stock actually. I picked Nvidia on that side. You know what? I picked Amazon here. So let me go and pick Amazon here as well, just so there's mostly ceteris paribus conditions. Okay, so let's keep our focus on reusability. Keep that in mind at the back of your mind, and then let's just look at these two charts. Now, if you notice, look at these icons here and look at the icons here. You'll see the style, and I'm just starting there from a visual standpoint, but essentially the crux of it is, let me jump the gun and share the crux of it, and then we'll come back to these nitty-gritty details. I noticed that these two products that are completely different from each other appear to be. I'm merely speculating here. I don't work at any of these organizations, so I have no idea how these were actually built. But my hunch, which could be wrong, for all I know, is that this is the same charting component, or it's very similar, if not the same. If you keep it's like someone's created this chart, the charting component, and maybe published it for other companies and businesses to consume. Now, if you're building a stock platform, you have you want to differentiate your feature set. Right now, I use like bar chart premier, I use like seeking alpha, and a few different things. Now, all of them are good in some ways, not so good in other ways, but each of them have their unique selling proposition. Now, you could have subscription to just one of these. A lot of them are competing offerings, but some of us may have subscriptions to more than one because we find that we like one feature here and one feature there. But the idea here is, let me actually pull up Amazon on Seeking Alpha as well. And then let's go to this chart here. Thought they had an advanced chart, maybe it's somewhere. Let's see, charting. Yep, so this is that chart. Let me remove this. So we just have Amazon here. We could do 1 day. So I guess we're comparing sort of apples and apples here. This is also a 1 day chart. What I'm trying to say is this chart is very specific to Seeking Alpha. It's probably internal that they may have built it and they're using it. Whereas the one we see here on bar chart and on interactive brokers, to me seems like they're probably the same product. So my speculation, again, mere speculation, don't quote me on this, right? Is that companies potentially built this charting component, made it available. It's standalone. They made it available and easily or seamlessly integrable, probably along the lines of the Snowpile APIs. If when you're building a trading platform, or I don't know if Seeking Alpha is actually a trading platform. I don't know if you can actually perform trades there, but it is a research. It's a place where you go do all of your research and manage your portfolios. And maybe they have a trading platform that I'm not aware of. But E-Trade certainly is a trading platform. Fidelity's interactive brokers is. So when you're building these solutions and offerings, you can focus on your core competence and your unique selling propositions. Like bar chart premier has some unique features. If you're dealing with options and if you're an options trader, I think bar chart premier is actually pretty cool. Seeking alpha is a bit more generic, and maybe I don't know how much they focus on um, you know uh, uh, options. They probably have some support, but I've pretty much seen that their support has been, at least in my opinion, predominantly for trading stocks. So again, there could be a difference there. You can read up the, the compare. You can compare and contrast the pricing and the features. But the short of it is each product comes with its own unique selling propositions, and that's where they want you to, that's how they want to close that sale. But the chart itself, when you're researching a particular security, uh, a rich chart such as this, this, if you look at the Seeking Alpha version, it's not too bad, but it's got a lot of limitations. We might get to it in this video, we may not, but it's got a lot of limitations compared to what I'm showing you here on Bar Chart Premier and the similar one used, if not the same one, on Interactive Brokers. So whoever built this, they're like, you know what? Let me make this generic enough so anybody who's building a trading or a stock related platform or a service or a product for subscription and whatnot can leverage my component and not worry about reinventing the wheel. Now imagine what would need to happen if Interactive Brokers or Bachar Premier or all of these companies have to re-implement the chart. They can re-implement the chart, but it's going to take them a lot of time and effort and money and resources, and maybe it never be as good as this. Who knows? Because maybe that's not their core competence. Building a chart in a library, possibly. That's maybe not even their intent, because they want to build something that they can ship and have acquire customers the soonest by pushing their main primary features to those end users or customers. So they would be a whole lot better served by leveraging an existing component. So the question of using an existing component is not just for you to have like a design system or a UI component. I'm just using a UI component as an example and use it. Let me make sure I'm sharing the screen. Yes, I am. But the idea of behind publishing these quote unquote components is so other people can build their systems a whole lot sooner. So the APIs are not really components, but they are building blocks. And one of our APIs is literally called building blocks because that's what it does. It basically gives you all the uh, elements that you need to. This is the SDK I meant to go. We have our SDKs as well, but I'm just going to go to a Postman collection so you can see. Yeah, you can see all of our endpoints. This is one of our APIs that gives you the foundational elements to build just about anything, right? We have an access control API. We have a custom attribution API that you can use to build forms. Similarly, along those lines, this one is a very foundational set of endpoints that you can leverage to build anything like a web app, mobile app, or a microservice for any industry, right? It's domain agnostic essentially. So the idea behind components or APIs is to give you what you need or a lot of what you need. That way you can only fill the gaps and build what you absolutely have to and cannot reuse from what is already out there. So that's the gist. Now, why do I think these charts are similar? So let me go to Amazon here and do a 1 day chart. If you look at, it's not just the look and feel. I mean, that is kind of a giveaway, but look at these icons here, and let's say if I click here for the Fibonacci retracement and say Fibonacci fan and channel and all of these very specific technical terms when it comes to investments. And again, if you want to know some of these in more detail, let us know. We'll create a course and it'll cost you like $5 or $10, and you can learn in at least as much about it as we know and we are able to offer. Or if you're a course creator, you can create these courses on these items and publish it on our platform for free. And then we just take a small cut from the unit sale of your course, but it doesn't cost you anything else till a sale is actually made. So that's pretty cool. Very different from other course platforms that charge you a fair bit of money for even hosting your courses. Okay, back to this list here, retracement and arcs and whatnot. Let's go find something like that here. So see, this is Fibonacci retracement, trend-based fib extension. Does it have like, it has like a Fibonacci fan. This is a pitch fan. I don't know if they do. Okay, fib speed resistance fan, and then there's a GAN box, GAN square, and whatnot. So you can see similarities, but again, the icon might be slightly different. Maybe they allow for that component to be customizable, so it doesn't look exactly the same. But I have a feeling, just looking at that these are very, very similar. Or I don't know if there's an industry standard for building charts for securities. If there is one, maybe there's multiple companies that have built a component on that specification, which again maybe, but I doubt that is the case. But let's look at some other couple of more things here. This list here is certainly there is an overlap, but there are also differences there because I think the one on the right, interactive brokers, may have actually a bit more from what I'm seeing here than what bar chart offers, right? Possibly because this is a full-blown trading platform versus that is something used for research and whatnot. So maybe they're maybe they've picked what's relevant to them, or maybe the way this component is priced, more to the speculation here. The way the component is priced is based on the list of features that they actually bring to the table, essentially. So that's kind of what it is. But let's look at a few more things here. You look at this one here. Okay, let's go to. I'm going to hover over this. Magnet mode, snaps, drawings, plays near price bars, blah, blah, blah. And I click this. It says weak magnet and strong magnet. So let's go here. Um, this one, I guess, doesn't have a drop down, but I'm going to, oops. I've not used this particular magnet here. So let's see. If I go here, I have no idea what that particular metric is and how. Oh, that's fine. Let's go pick one that I've actually used. Let's see what else is here. Um, trend line, ray, info line, extended line, blah, blah, blah. This is how you want the chart to be rendered. Trend line, ray, horizontal, vertical line, trend channel, GAN line. Back here. Trend line, ray. Is there a trend channel? I see a trend angle, and then there's a GAN line that's not here. But then they have the other ones, right? The more standard ones. And then if you also notice the bottom, the footer here, 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, that is, it's just opposite here, but it's kind of very, very similar. And then they also have another item that I want to show, which is uh, all hide all drawings, brush, forecasting, price range and date range, right? Keep an eye on price range and date range because I've used that one here. Yep, the price range and date range. So I mean, again, they don't look exactly the same, but you can see the similarities. And I mean, what they say, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. To me, my starting point would be that these are very similar products. Either it's the same product, just customized differently, or maybe it's built on the same specification. So there are these similarities, right? But I'm leaning more towards the former. But the idea here is, hopefully, you got the essence of what I'm trying to convey here, which is when if you're building a trading platform or a research a tool like this, do you really want to invest your time and energy in reinvent building this chart, because it's an extremely rich chart. And here I just dropped the date range here, and I think I dropped a similar date range here before I got on this uh, before I hit record. So you can pick a date range, or you can pick a few hours within the day, and it gives you a range of what happened within that time, what is the volume, what were the highs and lows and whatnot, right? So the more you're able to sort of understand and leverage these charts, the hopefully the more successful you are in the stock market. Uh, I wish there was a direct correlation. It's not that direct, but hopefully to some extent it is. So you certainly do not, back to what I was trying to say earlier, you can now reinvent the wheel and implement this chart, but wouldn't you be better off actually paying for subscription or purchasing a license to this chart, which is beautiful, than actually reinvent, than building it yourself? Because it's going to take you a lot more time and money, and maybe you don't even have the expertise to do it. You have to probably hire more people, push your timelines out, and then do things that you shouldn't really have to be doing. Because if you go to Seeking Alpha, one of the things that stands out is their chart is not bad, but it's reasonably basic. Like for instance, you can pick a couple of different symbols. Like I can pick Nvidia here, and it'll put that on the chart. But I can only pick one metric. If I want to pick multiple metrics, like if I pick multiple metrics, see it says multiple metrics may only be shown for a single symbol. So it now might get rid of I know what it did there. It gets you can either have multiple securities and a single metric, or single security and multiple metrics. That's the limitation. Maybe it became too complex for them to support that, so they just stopped short of doing it. And similarly, I don't think they have the Fibonacci retracement and the number of other things we actually saw in the other chart here. So if I'm Seeking Alpha, I'm just wearing their hat and saying, hey, you know what? If they decide they like how much, uh, how much value do charts bring to our end users? Is it worth integrating another component? What is the price? Is it affordable? What is the time it takes, and how easily integrable is that component? Right? They probably, you ask yourself these questions, and then go with what makes sense. If you're like, you know what, charts is one of the many things we do. That's not our core. That's not our primary unique selling proposition. Not our core selling point. Then maybe you're okay. You just build something simple, and then use it, as opposed to shelling out the money for this. Or maybe you have multiple subscription models where you actually have a basic chart and then you flip it out with a more complex, beautiful one for those premium users and whatnot. Those are decisions you make, but the idea here is, if you find something, two things, right? If you find something that can help you get moving faster and cheaper, so you can get to the market sooner than your competitors, then you should definitely go for that. But if you, and sometimes you may not, find it by serendipity, right? You're going to have to look for it. And depending on how much money those companies spend on marketing and advertising, sometimes it's staring you in the face, and you're like, hey, you know what, I've seen this like 20 times, so maybe I can use this. Or if you're like us, where we spend our time and energy mostly on building software than advertising, at least at this point, then you're going to have to do a little bit of digging to find such companies, and hopefully you find us, and then you figure, you know what, leveraging a Snowpile APIs is going to actually make our lives easier and make us more productive and more set ourselves for bigger, or more guaranteed success in the near, short term, and long term futures. So that's the idea. So I just want to share this chart because it kind of piqued my interest earlier when I saw them. Like, you know what, this looks very similar. And then you can go look at all these other options, the headers and indicators too. If I go to the indicators here, and if I go to the indicators here, now it's laid out differently. But if I click volume and I pick that, you see the volume at the bottom. And I've actually chosen volume here, and it shows up at the bottom. Yes, it looks a little bit different, possibly. You know what? Let me pick one day. Yep. But maybe you can even tweak it, right? I do not pick extended hours in real time. Probably the same thing here. Yeah. So what is this one? Oh, make a copy extra. Okay. So this bottom here, and the volume shows up at the bottom. You can have any of these other indicators also added to this chart. Again, you can see similarities between the two. So you know what? I just clicked on one more thing there just to show you the differences, and you can go here. Actually, the version on interactive brokers pass, because it's running on a native client. It's a little bit richer, than the one on bar chart premier, even for the same comparable feature or the metric. Maybe because it's just the way, maybe it's richer on an, things are typically richer on a native client than on the browser, right? It's just the way it works. um, so I think that's basically it. So when you build something, let me stop sharing, come back here. So when you're actually, and you come 2025, when you're building an app or microservice, doesn't matter what kind of app it is, or you're building either a new system or enhancing an existing system and adding some features, look to see what you can leverage and reuse, so you can quickly get started, be up and running. Because let's take access control, for instance. We provide an access control API that deals with roles, permissions, privileges, roles, teams, and members, and you can have a pretty complex ACL structure. Why would you want to spend time designing it, architecting it, implementing it, testing it, deploying it, when somebody actually has all of it available for you in multiple different ways for you to license, and it's like super affordable? If I were you, I would actually go find, and that's exactly what we do at Snowpath. We never reinvent the wheel for what we want to do. Like, before I end this, let me show you one more thing, possibly, right? So I want to do a screen share one more. This time I'm just going to share one window. Okay, so you see our product. I'm just going to show one thing here. So I don't know if it's a perfect example to what I'm trying to say, but hopefully it's close enough. So if you go, one of the things we do is we use AIM charts. We love those charts, right? They just, at least last I checked, they don't have support on mobile. So we do something, we use web views on mobile to leverage the same charting implementation that we have. But essentially, this chart, AM charts focus, that's their business. They are in the business of building charts. Now, could we have sort of used, other free open source charting libraries and created some charts for what we needed? Sure. But would that have been as rich as these charts are? Probably not, right? Because, again, the breadth of the charts is we have 15 different types of charts that we use. And every time AM charts releases a new one, we are, able to just quickly construct the JSON and then piggyback on the implementation, and then showcase a beautiful chart to you. Just like, this is one chart, and you can go look at, I don't know, let's look at another one here. So we have a number of different charts. And if you are a company that's not building charts but needs to work on this, one, it's going to take you time, money. I've said it many different times, like a broken record. Two is you're probably never going to come anywhere close to this, because this company focuses on this, and that's their bread and butter. Similarly, the APIs are no different, right? You basically want to build, I think it took me to a different page. I just click API. It took me to our API page. But anyways, let me stop sharing right now. So that's what I want to share. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, hit us up and we'll be able to do a quick demo, tell you, give you a quick rundown of our APIs, what's there, what is already in production, what's coming in 2025, sort of get you a bit more acquainted with our SDKs. We have SDKs in Golang, and we'll be building out in other languages as well. So, you sort of have all the information available, then you can make a decision and then see if we are the best fit for helping you out. That's about it. Again, happy new year 2025. Hope to talk to you a lot more in the coming year. Bye bye.